Hello, and welcome to I wanna have a great summer. I wanna have a great summer. Have a great summer.
Hello.
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 Wow, we're all vocal and available.
Are we doing it?
We're doing it.
Yes.
We have
we're doing
Esben. Hello.
We have Esben. How do you pronounce your last name?
Weile.
Weile.
Like all Americans always say Weile.
Oh, it's kind of like Simone Weil, right?
Yeah, maybe.
You know that author? Similar. You know her? Gravity and Grace.
No.
No, she's great.
I think it's
great.
hot that you do, though.
Yeah, she's great. But I love your name.
Thank you.
Where are you from?
I'm from Denmark, from Copenhagen.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
You're an artist.
I'm a visual artist, yeah.
Yeah. A performance artist as well.
Yeah. Doing like performance, sculpture, installations, everything in between.
So cool. What brings you out to America in LA?
Yeah, but I did a performance last week in Miami.
Oh, cool.
Which Liz was part of.
Yeah,
as well.
I was going to be in it, but then I didn't go.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I was so sad.
Yeah, where were you?
I was here working on
Oh.
shit. I like wanted to come, but it was just, it did not align. this
And
time.
super sick. Thank God you didn't, because you got really sick.
I forgot.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I got super sick.
I think it was not a fun performance to do, being sick.
Yeah.
But it's a piece I made for Museum Tingley in Basel.
Oh, cool.
Earlier this year. And it's these like giant inflatables, which are made of the same material as reflector boards from photo shoots.
Amazing.
So it's like these meat-eating flowers, and then it's like 7 performers that are performing inside of the structure.
So cool.
Of an art, something like that.
God, I
It
wish
was
I could see
so
it. The pictures looked
fun.
amazing. I
It's really
was
funny.
so like at the envy. I was like, that is so fucking sick.
Yeah, I mean it is a fun piece to perform,
Yeah.
right? I mean it's like letting something.
How did
go.
you get into performing?
I don't know. I think before I started studying visual arts, I was at the music conservatorium in Copenhagen.
Wait, studying music?
I was studying music management, but
Music
I was
management,
a DJ.
Cool.
And I
Great
think-
DJ. I've danced
Oh yeah,
to
that was how we met. Actually,
a couple of your sets. It
Yeah.
was delightful. We're back.
Synchronicity.
Okay, so you were studying, you're a DJ.
Yeah, and I started doing music for fashion shows.
Oh, cool.
And then I was working a lot doing like Paris Fashion Week, and I was always, because then there's all the rehearsals and all
Right.
these like things, and I was also always watching these productions with these catwalks and all the
Right.
light, and I loved when all like before the models were dressed and in like makeup and all this, then they were just walking, and when they did the rehearsal,
Yeah.
and I was starting to imagine like, okay, what will happen if this like situation just like fall completely apart,
Right.
and I think there was this anxiety for everyone in the production when
Right.
you make like such a big thing and use so many money for only like 10 minutes. Everyone is like, oh, there's really a rush about, okay, nothing can go wrong.
Right.
And I start like just fantasizing about, okay, what will happen if everything went wrong.
I'm obsessed with that.
And then I started doing these, I don't know, maybe it was in between like a club night.
Oh, Esben, will you put the mic close? Yeah,
Closer?
yeah.
I started doing these things that was in between a club night and a performance, fashion show, so I made these like in between situations. Right. And then I got curated into a group show by a visual artist in Copenhagen.
Cool.
And I was like, wow, why are he inviting me? I'm not an artist. But then I made something for it, and I was super excited about.
When was this?
That has been maybe 2015.
Cool. Yeah.
And then I applied for the Art Academy, just with the stuff I already made,
right.
like with
yeah.
documentation of the.
Where's the Art Academy in Copenhagen?
Yeah, it's in this old castle. It was actually it's the second oldest art academy in the world.
Wow.
The first one was in Paris, and the second one was in Copenhagen.
So cool.
So it's like a 350 years old castle. And we're pretty. It's a small school, so you have just access to the castle night and day
Whoa.
for
That's
6
so
years.
sick.
Yeah, it's a 3 years bachelor, 3 years master.
CalArts could never.
Yeah, that's so true.
I think it's really different.
Yeah.
I haven't
Yeah.
been to CalArts. I really want to go, but
Yeah,
I
it's cool.
Yeah, I know of course about the school, but I just haven't been there myself.
Wait, so then you went to the art academy and studied performance?
Yeah, I mean, yes, I was. I also don't see myself as directly a performance artist because I think performance art, at least how I think about it, is really connected to the 60s and 70s and
Right.
like how to go into the white cube and place a body and
Right.
the body as a material. And I think I much more work with like spectacles and situation that is also so connected to material, like
Right.
objects. And
Yeah,
how
you're
they-
like activating a piece. You know?
Exactly. And I'm creating these like images that are kind of deconstructing themselves from within, a bit like a set with the fashion show. So
Right.
but I started like working more specifically with this kind of method, or I don't know, practice. But I'm also doing just like classical sculpture and like
Right.
other kind of things, but it's always connected somehow to a performative situation.
Right.
For example, now with all the photos I do from my performances,
Yeah.
I translate them into stained glass pieces.
Oh,
And
wow.
These photos from Hyper here in Miami, the piece there will be translated into stained glass pieces that
So
will be
cool.
exhibited in London next year. So it's like, this kind of echoes.
Yeah,
and
it's
then
like a
Right.
loop.
Exactly.
That's so
it's
cool.
like images that are
Referential.
reproducing itself, and this echo of the situation
That's so
that
cool.
are translating into different mediums.
I love stained glass so much.
Yeah, me
I really
too.
can't wait to see it. That's amazing. I've actually was recently at the museum in New York and was thinking about how crazy it is that people have done that for so long, and how it's such a like. I don't do you do it by hand, make all the stained glass.
Yeah, I get them produced.
You get them produced. Okay, yeah.
But it's a crazy thing. Like,
Yeah.
To do them yourself. It's
Yeah.
Really.
I saw
craft.
someone online who was doing it, and I was like, that is such a feat. I like don't. She was like, I don't know, shaping. It was crazy. I like could not believe the amount of effort it takes to make that.
Yeah, I follow a lot of stained glass TikTok accounts, and the sound of them like breaking the glass is like so pleasurable.
Yeah, it's honestly really. There's something about it.
Yeah.
There's something to breaking glass in general.
It's so true.
Yeah.
But I'm really not so crafty at all.
Really?
I mean,
You're more like ideas. Yeah.
It's really like a conceptual practice, and then I get stuff produced. I
Right.
also work with like bronze and
So cool.
glass fiber.
Yeah.
Glass, yeah.
Wow,
So,
I want to see all your work.
Yeah.
I need do you have a studio in Copenhagen?
Yeah.
Wow.
I just got a studio because I finished the art academy in, when was that? Like the spring.
Oh,
How,
cool.
was
how long were
actually-
you in school?
What?
How long were you in school?
It's 6 years. Yeah.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
God.
that's what it is. And then like the last 1.5 year, I was also at the Rebecca class at Städelschule, so I was like back and forth.
Wow. Wait, how does like getting a master's degree in Copenhagen work? Like, is that because here do you have to pay for it? I don't understand how these things work
Yeah, you have to pay for it.
here.
Mm-hmm.
But
In Denmark, you get paid.
you get paid to do it, right?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. That's so crazy.
But it's quite difficult to get in.
It's like competitive to get those
it's
those sponsorships and stuff.
Yeah, there's only like, I think, is it 25 a year, maybe? 30 that
25
come in?
people.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's like, it's a quiet like
Tight.
Is
tight.
it mostly people from Denmark?
Yeah, I will say yes, but then of course there is exchange students from other schools.
Liz
Maybe you
is-
should go.
Yeah, that's so cool. You get paid to go to school.
Yeah, honestly, also
Such a dream.
the whole 6 years thing is really cool. Like I just finished a semester of like a 2-year MFA program, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm like a fourth of the way done. Like I'm already mourning it being over.
Yeah.
So how long is it in total?
Well, undergrad is 4 years, and then you have the option of going to grad school, which is 2 years.
Do many people do that?
Grad school,
Um,
that's a tough question to ask.
I don't think a lot of people do.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not like something.
I mean, to
Unless you're
answer-
like trying to be, I think, a teacher or like a doctor or like get a specialized degree. I feel like a lot of people don't pursue higher learning.
Can
right?
you get
Yeah.
a PhD here in visual arts?
I've never heard of that.
A
Okay.
PhD in
Maybe like an art history, you
Yeah.
know?
You can't get a PhD in visual arts.
I mean, I've never heard of anyone getting a PhD in visual art.
You would know better than me, but I just think that's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
But there is like a PhD program. So
There's PhD.
After the 6 years in college,
Yeah.
you can do like 3 years more. on your
Wait, yeah. So
PhD.
what kind of what degree would you have you fulfilled then after your 6 years at the academy?
Your master.
Masters.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So cool. Wow.
But the 4 years of undergrad is included.
Yeah, like there's a 3 years bachelor and then a 3 years master.
Mm.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah.
So
Okay.
that's the 6 years in total, and then of course you can. Oh, then you could get like a PhD after, and you can also. Yeah, there's also something more, maybe a doctor or something.
Okay,
like
yeah,
Mm.
doctorate.
But it's not many people who
Have
do
you
that.
have you spent much time in America?
No, not at all.
Really?
I mean, I went to New York, like, when was that? For Performer, like 6 years ago. or
For
something.
what?
Performer.
Performer. What is that?
This performance, is it like an exhibition?
Oh,
or
cool.
Like something? It's like this event where there's like performances all over
Oh, cool.
New York City. But yeah, I was just there for 2 weeks or something like that. And then I came back. Then I've been in Miami and
Right.
LA. Coming back, I was in LA last year. Came back. This
Okay,
year.
cool,
So
yeah.
I've
And
been-
was that for your first time in LA?
yeah, last year was.
Hmm.
Yeah, I really like it here. I mean, I like LA more than New York.
Oh,
Yeah.
we love to hear it.
Yeah. That's what's up.
Yeah, same.
Same.
I mean, it makes sense that you would like LA. Is
it's
it over?
good. We're good.
Because of the fact that you're like you're working with this idea of the spectacle. You
Yeah.
know?
There's a lot of spectacle here.
Yeah.
What do you think about the LA, like from your perspective of you grew up in Denmark?
Yeah.
Like how have you viewed LA over the years and like coming here now? Do you feel like it's kind of goofy?
I think as a European, it's yeah. I mean, because all
Copenhagen's so sexy also. I've been there and it's like, ooh.
You
Yeah,
think so?
everyone
Uh-huh.
is hot.
Yeah, it's hot.
everyone is always saying that, but in which way? It's like natural hot, or is it more
The whole vibe is sexy. It feels very in control.
okay? yeah.
Denmark feels like chic, like high fashion and chic sort of. I don't know, from my
Yeah.
vantage point in my time there.
Yeah,
think we
everyone's like
like to think-
tall and like
What?
everyone's like tall
Mm.
and like statuesque, gorgeous, pointy, elven.
Elven, yeah.
I
Elven
think
core.
Copenhageners really like to think of themselves as the Scandinavian Berlin, which is so funny because it's really not. But you know, in Scandinavia, you have Stockholm, which is like really controlled.
Right.
You know, there is a lot. I think a lot of Danes thinks that it's a bit like tight in Stockholm.
I love Scandinavia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have also been in Stockholm.
I've been to Gothenburg,
Oh, okay, yeah.
which is insane. It's so beautiful. When I went to Sweden, I was like, I feel like my past lives were here. Like I felt so connected to the land. I'm not even the type of bitch to say that. Like I'm not that person, but I literally was like, I called my mom and I was like, I literally feel so connected to the land. I feel like in my past lives I was in Sweden.
Well, I mean,
And-
you'll all look Swedish. Like her mother,
Yeah.
her aunts, her grandmother.
We
They're
got-
all like really blonde.
We got fairy vibes.
yeah, big fairy vibes.
But yeah, I don't know. It was weird. I've never really been taken with a place like that. And I was like, damn, this is crazy.
That was how I had it when I went to Rome in the
Really?
Vatican. Yeah, I was
I've
like,
always wanted
The
to go to
Vatican.
Rome.
yeah, I was like, I have been here before.
Oh.
And you know, I can never find my way. Like,
Yeah.
also just to go here, like,
Yeah.
our friend Anna has to drive me. I mean, I can't find my way anywhere. And then when I came in there, I just knew exactly where to go.
Oh my
and I really
God.
had this experience of like have been there before.
That's
or
so
something like that.
crazy.
Wow.
That is really interesting.
I wonder if anyone feels that about LA.
well, like I've been here before.
Yeah, like this is where I'm meant to be.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that I'm supposed to be here, but in this life.
Yeah, me
It's
too.
like it's more like this is my modern choice.
yeah.
This is the modern me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But where did you live before?
I've always been here.
Okay,
I
yeah.
grew up here and I was born here, but I did move away for a while. But I love it ultimately. I had resistance towards the culture growing up, though. It felt very, like
artificial.
shallow.
Yeah.
It felt shallow, and like I had to make my own way to build something. I think that felt more authentic and like sincere for me. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I moved here from New York, I hated it for 2 years.
Really?
Like I hated
Wait,
it. I was like
you
embarrassed.
literally love it now.
Now I love it. I love it.
But how did it change for you?
I don't know. I think I met the right people.
I didn't realize you hated it. That's so funny.
Yeah, I hate it when people like move here from New York and they're like, ugh, like I don't know why I'm here. I'm like, just give it 2 years, which seems like a lot of time, but like it's worth it in the end because I can't picture myself living anywhere else.
I mean, Sophia and Frank just moved here from New York, and they both are vibing ultimately, I think.
Well, they live in like a fairy tale cottage.
Yeah, that's true.
With a literal fairy.
Thank you.
But is it difficult to live here?
In LA?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think so, but also like I don't have perspective. I mean, I know, not to be like political, but I know in other countries like the healthcare is better and all this stuff, and like the resources that you get are better. So like I've never had access to any of that or like that kind of security. So to me, it's like living
It's
in
normalized.
Yeah, living in LA feels super easy.
It definitely is easier, at least in my perspective, like
From New York.
From New York,
yeah, for sure. Same. I could not live in New York. It was not good for me.
I mean, I'm glad you brought that up because that was like a conversation me and Esben had in Miami.
What?
Like, I believe you were like, you were like, it's kind of scary, like, not American culture, but like kind of like the sort of socioeconomic system that we live in.
It's scary.
It's like you didn't, I found it like really interesting because you didn't grow up like with this fear of like, you know, having some sort of big sickness or like life event where you like don't have.
And it's funny because I get that fear, which is like visiting, and I'm not even a part of this society. So like no matter what, it will not like be influential on my life. But it's just a feeling. I think I'm just getting scared about the thing about everyone. It feels like sometimes here that everybody needs to be on the grind all the time.
Yes, totally.
And to work all the time, both like, you know, social, like to be social is work, to work is work, like, and everyone in Copenhagen is talking about how to work less, you know, so it's kind of like the opposite. And then I don't know, maybe it's just an anxiety inside of me of this like of falling through, you know, this whole thing of that there will be no one that will catch you, like,
no, completely.
And I think in Denmark we have like free health,
I mean the
free
social
education,
system,
free like all these kind of things, so no matter what you will not be fucked up, like it's fine. Of course that's also really privileged to say, but it's also kind of true. And
no, it's really bad here. I mean, like the homelessness in LA and like the resources that they have for those people who need help, it's like terrible, honestly, and like seriously needs reform. It's crazy. Like
also because of course it's also class society in Denmark, but it's just like not that crazy, like, you know, it's not that, what is it called,
severe.
Exactly. So I think it's about that, and then it comes sometimes I get overwhelmed about like, well, okay, shit, how do you do this?
I know. I mean, I actually have anxiety surrounding these things because I remember earlier in my life I heard obviously about like the healthcare in other places, and I was like, how is this normal here? But like, and it really like threw me for a loop. But then I would just kind of be like, well, I have my family in LA, and that was like comforting, was knowing I was close to my like extended family, and like, okay, if I get in a really weird situation of any kind, like they can help me. And like as I grow friendships, I'm like, okay, this is like securing, and like, and it's obviously not the same as having like an infrastructure that is like supporting you, but it's like all I have. Well, it's all I have.
Yeah, I remember that's like something that I mentioned in this conversation that we had that we're referencing. Like I was like, well, you know, you develop like family, you develop like this like sort of interdependence within your community, and like you develop these relationships where you're like, okay, if I get sick, like I have like friends that will like come bring me soup and stuff like that. If I'm like struggling emotionally, I have like you and Wendy and like these people in my life that will carry me through. And I remember saying that, and then Esben and Anna, our friend Anna, who's also from Denmark, were like, yeah, but we have that too. And I was like, fuck.
I know, literally.
And I was like, if I get sick, I know that like my friends are gonna like come take care of me.
We just have a bigger
Denmark.
responsibility, basically, to each other. But it's
and I think that's true.
Yeah.
Without knowing it.
Yeah. Like there's like a stronger interdependence. That's not necessarily good. I mean, I obviously think that I don't fuck with the way things are set up, TBH.
Yeah. I mean, Anna was just like, you don't have to do that. You don't have to rely on it. It's more like sort of like woven into the fabric
Right.
of like how we perceive like community and relationships. And I'm like, damn, that sounds nicer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I also think about it in relation to like the idea of freedom, and it feels like, you know, America is like the land of freedom, and we're like, how can you feel free if there is no one to like, if there's no system to back you up
Yeah.
somehow?
I think when they say freedom, they mean you're on your own.
Yeah.
You're on your
You're
own, buddy.
free to like kind of figure it out if something
Yeah.
goes bad.
Yeah, it's like, it's
Figure out
on
yourself.
you.
Yeah.
That's the kind of freedom they're talking about.
That's also like freedom. Yeah, it's the great irony of
Yeah.
like, you know, this emphasis on this idea of freedom. It's like freedom for who?
Yeah. It's-
Freedom for like this specific small group of people.
They're so iconic for that. Those
Yeah.
crazy bitches.
The ultimate grifters, our
Yeah.
forefathers.
They're gaslighting us. Literally. Gaslight, gatekeep,
guy boss.
America.
Yeah.
But when you said before, like much earlier about how it is to be here, like how what my idea was of LA
Yeah.
before I went here, something like that. Oh, I just think about it now that I've been thinking a lot about this place as an image, because
Yeah.
I know it so much, like the branded image of America.
No, it's so branded. Yeah,
And, you know,
fully.
and I
Because
think
you also interface with a lot of like American pop culture and like
Right.
that's it. Like as a European person, you're like all the culture that you have been like consuming since you were a child is produced here.
Right.
So I think it's actually first now here, the second time I'm here in the end of the week, I feel that I kind of understand more the place I am.
Right.
Because in the beginning I was just seeing these images that I've been seeing before.
Right.
So I was not approaching them and seeing them as something that I could have.
Right.
I could like
Get close to.
I'll
Yeah.
feel something about by myself.
Yeah.
It was something when I already got told like how to feel about this.
Right.
But also, for example, I thought like Hollywood was, I don't know.
Wait, did you go to the
one
Celine
street.
thing?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, yeah, that's like, because I feel like that's so quintessential, like something you would see on TV, honestly, about LA, like
Yeah.
like in a movie. It feel because I was at that. It was like obviously extremely like over the top and ostentatious, and
I
like,
really loved it.
It was fun.
It was much more fun than any fashion party I've been to in a really long time.
really.
Yeah,
and you go to a lot. You're a fashion girly.
Yeah.
You're like in the scene, in the zone,
But-
in the fashion zone.
I don't know. I also just really love like rock and
Yeah. I know Hedy is like the rock. He's keeping the rock alive, I feel like, in fashion, because
But
like
has it
not a lot of
always
people
been
do
like
that.
this in LA?
What?
And the people look like this. Like everything is rock. Like every fucking party I've been to in LA has been like so indie, and
Really?
everyone looks so indie. And
I guess.
Well, I mean, I think it's really condensed in that space. That's like sort of woven into his like whole branding.
Wait.
no, but okay, I've also been to some specific parties. But for example, the party you had yesterday.
Yeah. You got in there?
No.
You were
we
outside.
were there
The
the day
rain,
before
okay.
also.
Oh yeah, the ion.
And then I was
thing.
thinking about, okay, now I have been like to every party I've been to in LA for the last 4 days. I've seen the same people.
Yeah.
And then I
Yeah,
said-
well, that is a thing.
That's the
yeah.
thing. Yeah.
And that's just fun because then I said it to Sean, also one of our friends, and then
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, it's fun. It's all
Sean
the same
Monahan.
people." And he was like, "Yeah, but of course, isn't it like that in Copenhagen?" I was like, "Copenhagen is so much smaller,
Really?
but I guess it's the same.
Yeah.
everywhere. You
Yeah.
know,
Well, I
like-
mean, there's a scene.
There's
like,
definitely a
and we're
scene.
all kind of like participating in this scene, including Sean.
Yeah.
So like you're kind of
Circling the scene.
Yeah.
yeah.
There are other scenes,
Yeah.
not as fun or cool, but
But you were DJing there yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Was it fun?
It was fun. Yeah. I mean, that it's always kind of like the same there. Like it's just crazy. And I mean, last night was especially crazy. It just gets really packed and like, yeah.
great
But-
DJ set, by the way.
Thank
I
you.
danced
Oh,
my
I
my
really
little
wanted
heart
to hear
out.
It was really goofy. I was playing some goofy tracks. It was fun.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But this place, what is it called? Okay, and that's
We're gonna beep
closed
that.
or something. I forget.
We can just talk about how fun the party was. The dare is cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's also funny that you're like talking about how everybody's so like indie.
I love indie.
Rocker.
I forget about indie.
But like also the two parties that you're referencing are so mired in
Right.
that like, you know, mythos.
Sleaze.
Yeah, like Hedy Slimane, obviously, Indie Sleaze.
Yeah.
Like iconic like culture producer, and then the Dare is like
The Indie
lauded
Sleaze
as
clapback,
yeah,
yeah.
somebody who's like sort of bringing that back.
Yeah.
But I just feel that's how it is in LA. You tell me. But last time I was here, I went to this like Gucci party at the Chateau Marmont, and it was also so indie.
I mean, yeah, Gucci's. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
Gucci is indie. Gucci is like the twee indie kind of
dramatic 60s.
Yeah.
High fashion.
So you're like, you're just like kind of moving
also
in
the
these specific
Chateau is
spaces.
crazy. The Chateau, like, similar to the Celine vibe, I would imagine. Yeah.
There's also like the more like kind of like gabber like rave
Is
There's
scene,
there a gabber
like
scene here?
Yeah,
like they
but
like
there is
merge at certain points, but there's like some very different, like clearly defined aesthetic.
Actually, a lot of the Gabber community was at the Celine thing.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
just feel like people look so stylish to these parties. In Copenhagen, people get shit-faced. I mean, like, Danish people drink a lot.
Really? Yeah.
You know that, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a health consciousness here for sure.
Yeah.
I think, but people still get pretty.
I also feel like
fucked.
people in Europe in general, like when I was living in Paris, like also, by the way, the school I went to, Les Beaux-Arts, I probably mispronounced that horribly, but like also like felt like a castle. It felt like I was at Hogwarts. But anyways, yeah, when I was in Paris, I had been sober for like 2 years, maybe 3 years. And I had like primarily been hanging out with like sober people and people in LA. And then I went to Paris, and that was like when I learned how to like party and like be like around people who were partying without feeling like triggered or anything, because I didn't have a choice, because like no one was sober and everybody partied super
No one is
hard.
sober.
Like
in Paris.
yeah, like at 9 p.m. like they were doing speed as the pregame to go to the party that they weren't going to arrive at until 1. You know,
That's
like
wild.
and then they were going to be partying until like 4 or 5.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah,
like
that's completely normal.
Yeah, super normal. And that was like, yeah.
yeah, I feel like in LA, a lot of people just do drugs too and don't drink. There's like that also.
It's
Yeah, but there's weirdly
just
something-
feels more chic. I mean, I don't know. But
That's
also,
so interesting that
I don't know. I
you
just
used that
think,
word.
no, but also, I mean, I'm from Denmark. Danes
Uh-huh.
are drinking a lot of alcohol, and you know, to be shit faced like that is just not a chic look. You know, it can
Yeah.
be rowdy, fun, a lot of things, but it's not chic. You know,
No,
to be like
fully.
shit faced. And
Yeah.
here people just, you know, it's a bit more in control.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
so interesting, because we're having like opposite perspectives.
Yeah.
Of, like you using the term controlled for, I mean, I guess you're talking more about like aesthetic, but
Yeah, and also, I mean, this is also like a party scene, because then, you know, the Danish culture, like everyday life, is also something else.
Right.
But it's just like Danes' relation to alcohol is just pretty dramatic.
Right. Really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like when I've toured through Europe, I've seen like I was in Belgium and people like drink beer at like 10 a.m. and like in Germany and shit. And,
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I mean,
is
like, you know, where I'm from, this like smallest city called Aarhus, there is, yeah, and it's in Jutland. It's the other part of Denmark. The other part, which are not the island where Copenhagen is.
yeah.
And then when you go to hotels and stuff like that, doing like at the brunch buffet,
Yeah.
they have like a part of it which is only like hard alcohol.
Oh my god.
You know, to get a little shot to wake up on, you know, and that's completely normal.
That's
like,
crazy.
That's adults and old people that do it as a little treatment.
I
Wow.
mean, treatment, lol. It's funny because like I also remember in Paris like going to lunch and people like sitting by themselves and like having a glass of wine, you know, like
yeah.
just like day drinking. But
Yeah,
it also feels like they're like, when I see people doing that in LA, there's like a higher like possibility of like them like entering a cycle of addiction or
Right.
something, or like it evolving like into something more insidious, whereas like in Europe I feel like they're like weirdly high functioning.
I don't know. I think
Like
it's still kind of fucked up.
our friend Anna, again a Dane, parties so hard and then like wakes up in the morning and then like writes a grant
That's crazy.
at like 10 a.m. Like she's like one of the most high functioning people I've ever met, and she also parties
I don't get that.
harder than most people I know.
Right.
But many people do that in Denmark.
That's what I'm
but
saying.
I can't do it. But also, I mean, I meet
But
a
you
lot of
don't do
people here-
drugs.
What?
You don't do drugs.
No, I don't do drugs. And
Are you willing to talk about your
definitely talk about that.
the guy that I was seeing?
No.
What marine?
The submarine.
Oh, the submarine. We gotta talk about the submarine
Yeah.
story. the submarine.
So
How to begin that story?
How to begin?
well, this
okay.
is kind of on topic with the social like structure of
Yeah,
of
because
Denmark.
the consequences of that
Of-
are like
yeah,
tie
different than
back
here.
into.
Yeah.
So I'll lead you. I'll set you up.
Yeah,
I'll
set it
I'll
up,
t-ball
Liz.
it for you. So
I'm gonna hit your vape.
we were in Miami. We were sitting at dinner, and I don't remember how it came up. Maybe that like Denmark is like such a small town, or I don't know, something. There's a man who you said was like an inventor, or like a sort of Elon Musk-esque character.
No, we call it, it's not funny. It's not funny because he killed a person, but he was like a Danish Elon Musk. He created first a spaceship, which didn't really work, I think, but he was trying.
Wait, is this like a famous person?
Yeah,
in
he
Denmark?
became really famous, but before that, he was famous in a cultural scene of Copenhagen.
So he's like, this is like public domain information.
Oh,
you just
yeah,
happen
totally.
to know him.
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
I mean, because he was a part of this creative environment at Refshaleøen, this like industrial part of Copenhagen, where there's a lot of music studios and artist lifts and stuff
Right,
like that. Now
okay.
it's super gentrified, but because before it was not. And he was this character. He had like a big studio where he was building a submarine, and there was
Right.
this podcast about him made by a group, like some podcasters in Copenhagen called 30 Year, that went super popular.
Okay.
But a lot of friends were there, like to parties, and
Right.
I was there
To his
like, a
submarine.
concert or something like that. Yeah, on his boat. He both had like a boat and a studio and a submarine, and he
Wow.
was building this
In
space
Copenhagen.
ship, and the podcast was about that. I
So
think.
crazy.
And then
What year was this that you were going to parties at his?
that was when I moved to Copenhagen. When was that? It was maybe 10 years ago.
Okay, yeah.
Oh wow, vintage.
What? Yeah, totally. But it was also another scene. It was everyone was obsessed with people that were doing things.
Right.
like extreme in a specific way.
Right.
Um.
People like extreme
Yeah,
in
but
general.
not so much anymore.
Yeah.
It's
I've-
interesting that you were concerned about your English, but I feel like you're so articulate.
I know, you're
you
doing
just said
great.
extreme in a specific way. Like you're killing
You're so
it. Are you
good.
Oh,
kidding?
thank you.
I see the vape.
Yeah.
But okay, so he had a lot of people coming down to his submarine,
Right.
and I knew people who had also been there on small tours and whatever. Then some summers ago, there was this journalist Kim Wall who visited him in his submarine, and they should go for like a boat trip. I think she was writing a story on him, and she never came back because he killed her and then cut her body apart, and I think we're throwing her out in the water.
Oh, wait. I think I've heard about this.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's never okay. Murder, obviously, very bad. But like a journalist,
Why-
Like, really bad.
It was just, it felt like it was also a shock going through the whole of course,
Community.
the community and the whole
Right.
country of Denmark, and everyone who has been together with him or hanging
Right.
out with him. Or that.
Why did he do that? Like, had he done that to other
I
people?
mean, of course, there is a lot of rumors, and I
Right.
don't know how many of them are like. A
You
part
knew
of
this
the
person.
Official investigation,
Right.
But I think they found a lot of like, is it called necrophilia?
Yeah.
Like movies on his computer and stuff like that.
Oh, that's really
So I
disturbing.
think he has been like into weird stuff, and then
You said he was a part of the BDSM community as well.
yeah, and that's also something that I don't know if it's like
Not that those
official,
things
Right.
are connected. Obviously, you
Right.
can be into, but I
Of
mean, I
course
guess there's kink.
Right,
I mean,
he-
I don't know if you can call necrophilia a kink. I don't know. Anyways,
Yeah, I also don't know. It's
moving right along.
difficult to talk about, but
Sorry,
I mean,
everybody.
But what happened? I mean, it was really tragic, and then he So the place where he built his submarine, like his studio at Refshaleøen, is a techno club now. So every weekend, people are like partying hard in the
Still.
place. Yeah. There's raves. Like people are totally like woke on coke, and like it's the Peter Masson's studio where he built the submarine. And then there's a small room where you still have like drawings of the submarines on
my
like the
God.
walls. It's
What's his name?
Peter Masson, yeah.
Peter Masson. Okay, yeah. I feel like this happened how long ago?
10 years ago.
No, I mean it happened maybe 5 years ago.
Yeah, I
I
feel like
just
whoa.
went there the first time. Like,
Yeah, I
10
feel like
years
I've
ago.
heard about this. That's really crazy. I mean, it's so weird when someone is so like integrated in a social community like that, and then that's like fucking crazy. Why? I don't understand why he would, like, why to a journalist who is like obviously like
a public figure
telling people she's going to this place. Like, I mean,
you shouldn't do that to anyone. You shouldn't do that
to anyone in general,
an anonymous
obviously,
person, but like also crazy Mark.
Like the fact that he would do it in a way that would obviously, it would be obvious that she was there. Like it's like he wanted it to come out, it seems like, in some way, or him to reveal himself. I don't know.
It feels weird also that, you know, something must have been like going wrong.
Yeah.
Because he was really like a man with like a lot of plans.
Right.
Like building a spaceship, building a boat. Like a lot of these things also happen.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's also like clearly he had an interest in power.
Definitely.
And I think that like being able to degrade someone to that degree is probably like a really intense rush for the whatever neural pathways are like male masculine power or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But then like 2 years ago I was installing a show at the Copenhagen Contemporary, and I remember then the director came down and she was like, oh, Peter Madsen just like escaped from the prison.
No.
Which is close to it because he 3D printed a gun in like the creative workship of the prison.
Wait, he 3D printed a gun in the workshop of the prison?
Yeah, we have to talk about the prison system.
What?
Because his sentence was 15 years.
Right.
That's
maybe more. I can't remember exactly, but you can't get lifetime.
You can't get a life.
No.
Yeah.
So there's like a maximum number, which in and of itself is like crazy.
Yeah.
And then he 3D printed like a gun.
Uh-huh.
I don't think you could use it, but he used it to get out of the prison.
Oh, because he threatened people with it.
Yeah.
Okay,
exactly.
I see. I get it.
It's also crazy that they have a 3D printer.
Why would
they're like...
But I think it's pretty awesome. I mean, not that he did it, but I think the prisons are. I mean,
the prisons are cool.
Yeah, I think because...
I mean, is there a lot of like, I don't know what kind of like murder, is there a lot of murder in Denmark in general?
No,
it's
I don't
probably
think
like
so.
smaller crimes.
Not compared to
mainly.
like
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah.
Of course there is sometimes.
Right.
But it's not really like something that happens really often. And that's
Right.
also why I think that this kind of story became really, really big.
Right. That's so crazy.
Well, I mean, you were talking about the prison system, about how like nice the prisons are, because we were talking about
like these memes with like pictures from Danish prisons, and then something like I really want to go to this retreat. I mean, it's quite beautiful. Like many of them.
Because it's so funny because TJ was saying in one of our episodes a few ago, he was saying how he got put in prison at the Icelandic airport.
Okay.
And it was like being in a really luxury hotel. Like he was like, I had a huge bed. I literally just like, they told me I could leave and I went back to sleep.
He saw the northern lights from his hotel room and slept
through
in
his prison.
a king bed. Yeah, I called it a hotel room, but that's like what it feels like.
I have never been to prison, but I think many of the prisons in Denmark are, I think all of them have like really
They're
good
probably
quality.
Nicer than my apartment.
Yeah, and I think you can get like a therapist, and you know, like there's a creative workshop and maybe a library, and you know, you have television and you know, healthy food.
I can't even begin to touch on American prison with that. Like that's so crazy.
I don't want to touch it.
I mean, the system here is just
easy for it. I mean, because it's like it's so normalized, you know, here. It's like so crazy to hear.
Yeah.
To be like faced with like what's actually happening in the rest of the world, and that juxtaposed with what's happening here makes you like realize how like,
I mean, there's and it also
tragic.
Like tied in with the thing about the social structure of like how we have no social services. It's like if someone falls through, they fall into a system that's like so deeply abusive and not healing to their life, like not going to help get them in a place where they could like actually forge their life forward.
But that's something I can also be super scared about.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
the whole like law system situation in America.
No, it's completely jacked. Like there's no, I feel like if you fall through, it's so easy to just get stuck there, and like it's really sad.
Buy themselves out of prison, right?
Here?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't.
The bail system, in a way, is there no bail in Denmark?
No, I don't think so. What is it?
So basically, like you can like pay bail, like if you're like charged for a crime, then you're like stuck in prison until the trial, and you can like pay bail to get out before your trial comes.
Yeah, I don't think you can't do that in Denmark.
Wow.
But
you can also sort of like in a sense you can like buy yourself out of a charge, because like you have perhaps access to better lawyers, you know, things of that nature. So like, of course, money is and access to resources and power are so like intrinsically interwoven in our society here in America.
I mean, I think some of the same things exist in Denmark, but then it's not that like extreme, you know.
Right.
And everybody has access to lawyers and stuff like that. Of course, some are better than others, but it's just a completely other system.
You were saying that you had friends who like do graffiti and stuff, and then they like end up, you know, in Danish jail, and it's like a yoga retreat or something.
It's always like an outstanding joke, because then you can, of course, I think that's what, you know, you can, of course, then if you get like a fine saying that, okay, you have to pay this amount of money, or you have to sit like 20 days in prison, then sometimes people can be like, okay, I just take the 20 days in prison because it's like, it's okay, I will just bring a lot of books and chill. But I mean, it's not something normal.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Ooh, what is it? Unboxing.
Should I unbox it?
Yeah, let's unbox it.
Will you pass me it, Esben?
Of course.
Thank you.
Ooh, hot. What did you get? Oh, I can't know.
Photos. The light was just so good on these photos.
I know, aren't they
I
so
can't
cute?
know.
I love
Oh my god, look at this ASMR. Oh, it's a curtain.
it. What?
Wow. Well, yeah. Okay. Dang.
Well, it's because the room, me and Frank, we moved the bed, and now like our bed is right in front of a window, and we just have one sheer curtain, and it faces our neighbor's kitchen. So I'm just like, this feels intimate.
Hot for your neighbor.
Yeah, I like don't need that. So
Speaking of, you and Frank just moved in with each other. Sorry, let me handle it.
yeah, we did. God bless.
And me and Esben were talking about our taste. Me and Esben were talking. Oh God, how long has it been like that?
I
Fuck.
don't know.
We were talking about our taste in men.
Oh,
and
really?
how, yeah, we liked silly. We prioritize silliness, which is something that we've discussed.
Yeah, in the last episode, I was saying how I feel like play is the highest form of intimacy, and me and Frank have been discussing that at length.
Was it you, Liz, who talked about like being beautiful, ugly?
We talked
ugly,
about
hot.
the ugly, hot,
yeah.
ugly
hot,
binary.
Yeah,
because we were like looking at someone and we were like, this person is hot. You were like, their face, their body, their personality, but I'm not.
I feel like ugly hot is at an all-time most popular right now.
Yeah,
like I feel like Adam Driver has come in and made ugly hot like mainstream in a way it never has been to me. I don't know, I feel like in the past, historically, men have had a much more standardized form of hotness that is now kind of outdated to me. I don't know.
Yeah, there's got to be something interesting. Well, because it feels so like manufactured.
Yeah.
You know, like standards of beauty are so like crystallized.
I like how they're changing. Like I saw this TikTok of a girl who had her eyes spread extra wide, and she was like, I would get the modeling agencies would be coming at me if I actually look like this. And I'm like, that's actually like true and kind of sick, because like,
I mean, Walter Pierce really did that.
He really did that.
Yeah.
But yeah, ugly hot is, I think, very in right now.
Yeah.
In an interesting way.
Yeah. I mean, for how long have you been together with your boyfriend?
About a year.
A year, okay.
Yeah.
They're madly in love.
We're madly in love.
That's so cute.
He's
great. I'm also mad in love with my boyfriend. We've been together for 3 years now.
That's amazing.
And he's like kind of my first real boyfriend. And before that, I was thinking, oh, I can't fall in love with anyone.
Yeah.
I was just, I don't know, but for me to be in a relationship is actually like really sick. I really love it.
Yeah.
And the whole thing about creating a sexuality together with another person.
Yeah.
It's just going so. I don't know. I just think for me, in a long time, I was spending a lot of time of thinking that relationships were not for me.
Right.
Maybe they were not. Maybe it was because of my boyfriend Nikolai that it happened.
It's just, if it's the right person, I feel like it's gonna be good.
But I also thought it would be like boring or something like that. But then I figured out that it actually was more boring for me to just like date random people and always like going on dates, talking like telling the same stories. For me to go deep with something, like really like you know, stay in
No,
a
completely.
relation, it's just like coming up with so many much more overwhelming feelings.
No, I mean, I completely feel the same way. Where I was like, it's been my most serious relationship for sure. And I feel like before I was like, thought I was bad at dating because I would date people who were like not aligned with me and like didn't know how to handle or receive me in a way that would make me my best self. And I feel like now I'm like, oh, I'm a good like the thing about I've talked to Frank about this, like the thing about our relationship is that he actually makes me feel like, oh, I'm actually a good person, and like he has so much trust and faith in me that it makes me arrive to my better self.
That's so true. I really understand what you mean there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
You know, and it's like crazy because in the past I've had people who have made me, I left the relationship being like, I am bad instead of, you know, I'm good.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've talked to him and I've been like, this is so healing because there are parts where other people have projected insecurity that my personality have brought up for them that have made me feel bad and like I'm not good. And the parts that made them insecure, you water and bring life to and encourage, and it makes me feel good, and like those parts are good, and it heals me so deeply on like the craziest level. And in a way, like I didn't even know I was so hurt in those areas too. It's taken this long, like only a few months, like in the past month I've realized like this has been so healing for these parts of myself.
I totally relate to that. But what do you think changed for you? Like, did you do something specifically to open up for this kind of a relation?
You mean like in my energy or like life?
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny, I've talked to Liz about this. Like the night I met him, I was not going to leave my house. It was New Year's Eve and I was not going to go out, but I like had already invited people to my house to go out, you know? So like I was about to tell everyone like, never mind, I'm staying in. I was dressed, but I'm like, I'm staying in, I can't, like I'm gonna watch TV by myself. But then people were already at my door right when I was about to text them, and I was like, okay, well, I guess this is happening, you know? So it was like, but I think the energy of knowing that I was choosing myself and my needs, before situation overtook my needs, which was fine and also is acceptable sometimes, I think that was what was like the final point in myself where I was like, oh, I'm choosing myself, and that brought me someone who would like actually encourage the best parts of myself.
It's like an iteration of that like old adage where like the second you stop looking, like,
literally
that's like that's like a version of that.
No,
like the second
is.
that you're like an acceptance that you're like fine and you're enough, and that like your love is enough to fill you up, then like something I mean, I very publicly on the podcast was like, I am so fine. I don't want anyone. I'm like, it's like that Whoopi Goldberg quote where she's like, get married, I don't want another man in my house, you know? Like, and then someone pulled up. I mean, I don't know if
the funniest part was that
happened.
A few days before I met him, I've historically only dated brunette men who are very not Frank looking and I have only like that's been it. And the few days before I watched Princess Bride, and there's the prince who's blonde, and I was like, honestly, he's kind of hot. I'm like, I get it, like I get it. There's
you manifested, and I was manifested
like,
him.
And he literally walked in, and I literally went up to him and was like, you kind of look like the guy from Princess Bride.
Okay, that's how it happened.
That's how it fucking happened.
You manifested him.
No, but literally, like low key, that guy is cute in Princess Bride. I don't know if if you've seen
I haven't
that movie.
seen it. No.
He's like the prince, and he has like little mustache, and he's like blonde. And when Frank walked in, I was like, whoa. And he was like, I don't look like this person. And I was like, I'm projecting. Just, it's fine. It's fine. Just take the compliment.
No, but I totally understand, like, know what you mean. I also think I was feeling really guilty also somehow.
Really?
Yeah. I think before I was thinking that just like there was something wrong with me all the time.
Were you like, well, what's your sign?
I'm Cancer, Leo.
Okay, yeah. So
wow, that makes so much sense.
What's your birthday?
3rd of July.
Okay, cute. Yeah.
Why do you think it makes sense?
Well, the Cancer, you're very like nurturing. I mean, even the way that you hug and touch is like really sweet and tender. Yeah. And then the Leo,
performer,
you're a performer.
Sharing.
Yeah, you're like
creative.
You really gas people up. You're like, you know,
it's
charismatic.
Really conflicted in me because I'm using so much time of being like afraid of stuff. Yeah. But then like just like crossing all limits sometimes. You know, it's like this opposite.
Boundaries are like shifting,
totally,
moving.
Completely, all the time.
I have a Leo rising.
What?
I have a Leo rising.
And you do too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cute. Love. Yeah, wait, so you felt like you were bad, kind
I
of?
just related to what you said about. I just felt that there was something wrong with me.
Yeah.
You know, that I the way.
Had you
that I
had bad
couldn't
relationships
connect-
before?
It was just really difficult for me to feel that I could share in these spaces.
Yeah.
I mean, I could have like really close relationships to friends and to
Right.
my family and to
Yeah.
really close to my sister. Like,
Yeah.
you know, all these kind of things. But when it comes to like a romantic relationship, it was just not. It was so difficult for me to
Right.
feel safe in it,
Yeah.
and that made me build up so many walls around me
Yeah.
that it was a horrible place to be in.
Right.
And I think for me also sex and love was so disconnected.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
that's really common
Yeah.
in the world,
Hookup
I feel
culture.
like. Yeah.
I mean, I think also like we're talking about like how you like learn to find self-love and like accept yourself, and then like someone comes in. But I think part of that also is like the antithesis of what you're describing is like meeting somebody who appreciates you where you're at,
Right.
and like really, you know,
Takes you as you are.
I guess what I'm trying to say is like part of it is not just you. I think the you part is like attracting that person,
Right.
like working on yourself enough to like attract someone that's like secure and like appreciates those parts of you because you're just being your truest self. So you don't have to like perform anything. That person is like attracted to your like most honest version of yourself. But I think like there's also some credit that should be given to like that the right person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sure. And then I also think that what we kind of grew up with, I mean, at least, okay, talk about myself, like as like a lefty, like artist, I mean, there was this like whole sex positive feminism, queerness, which I also really appreciate, but also can see have a lot of problems inside of it. And I think I really grew up in this like community of parties and stuff like that, where it was just like, we have as much sex as possible with as many people. I mean, like not
Same.
you know, but
Yeah.
this whole like vibe.
Yeah.
And then I just think that
Well, it's also like I feel like there was a thing of like, are you valuable if people want you? Like, how many people want you? And there's like been value in that historically, which has been toxic to, I think, a lot of people.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've been talking a lot with my friend Maya. You also know Maya, right? Habitual body monitoring.
Oh,
Maya.
yes.
Yeah, she's a super good friend of mine. She's like an artist and activist, and we've just been talking a lot about it because she's researching a lot in this field, and
Yeah.
she's really like sex critical now. But went from like being sex positive
Yeah,
to like
yeah.
sex critical.
Yeah.
And I think that's whole like shift somehow.
Yeah.
I can really relate to that because now I can also see a lot of problems in
Yeah.
that way of, I don't know, understanding the world, understanding like sexuality.
Right. Well, I think
I
it's
really relate to that.
it's weird because it's like projected as freedom, like, oh, sex positivity is freedom, but it's like it's not freedom if you're being pressured into believing that is what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Like, there's only freedom if you're like actively discovering what's best for you, you know, and like to be told this is the way to feel. Like, I mean, I saw a bunch of people on TikTok writing about how like this has been a ploy by the men trying to like get in, like manipulate people into like fucking more or something. I forget exactly how, there was a more prolific way they put it. I'm not as versed.
I mean, it's like reactionary. At least for me, it was like, I talk about this all the time, but like growing up in like a really like sexually repressed like culture and like, you know, middle America, like it felt like radical and like reactionary to be like, actually, I do sex and I'm not going to hell.
Yeah.
And then, but anything that's
Is
like,
that what you came from?
yeah.
Texas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's like really religious. And
Oh, yeah. Like a lot of my uncles and cousins like married their like high school sweetheart.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's a part of America that I still like
Yeah.
haven't seen yet.
Yeah, I mean, you've been you know, canoodling with the coastal elites. And you know.
I'm always getting surprised. Also, this whole like Balenciaga gate, for example, on Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm seeing like all these people like they are satanic and stuff. I'm like, who is using the word satanic? Like, you know
Yeah.
what is going on?
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, okay.
there's the
Yeah.
whole like cabal QAnon.
Yeah.
You know, discourse.
Oh, but sorry to interrupt you.
No, I don't even remember what I was saying. Well, I guess what I'm saying is anything that's like reactionary isn't like hinging on your desires.
Yes.
It's like hinging. It's like pushing against something that's separate from you.
Yes.
You
So
know?
true. Yeah. I hate reacting.
Yeah.
I just want to live independent of any. I remember when I was younger, I discovered this thing called phenomenology.
Yeah.
And it's like you ignore all science and you live independently, and like you create your own like ideas about things based on your experiences. So like if you believe gravity exists, you would like prove to yourself that like you would try to resist that. And I've always thought that was really exciting. I could be totally not saying that correctly, the whole thing, but that's how I received it when I was younger.
That's okay. We love spreading misinformation on HAGS Pod.
I'm pretty sure that's right. It's like all about like just your internal relationship to reality and like that being true. So
But do you think that's a really like LA thing that people can be here and live their own life? Because that's what people always say. But I was a bit like, is it true?
What?
The thing about that, the cool thing about LA is that you can live and create your own reality, and you don't have to be a part of the real world. And I'm a bit like, yeah, you can do that if you have money.
Yeah.
Well, I'm in a way though that is true, because like, you know, for example, like I can wear what I want to wear and express myself as I want to express myself here in a way that I can't in Texas. Right. You know, it's not even doesn't even really feel safe to wear like something like a little slutty, you know.
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
So in a way there is like more like freedom to be yourself and I like express yourself. I don't know if you can create your own reality. I think that is tied to like privilege.
I think there's just like people have an easy time disassociating here because like there's so much glitz and it's like pretty accessible that like you can go down to like the Viper room and disconnect from like the amount of debt you have on your credit card.
Yeah, be a part of some sort of like you know, gilded
like fever dream vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think like that LA has like a living fantasy thing, which I think is like exciting for people, and it's growing more and more, I think, with the TikTok phenomena in LA. I mean social media in general is like you can kind of become anything, like, you know,
a micro niche celeb, and like that doesn't necessarily manifest in actual like resources, you know. I also am realizing I haven't had any caffeine. But you don't have caffeine here, do you?
I don't think we do. Sophia always goes to get coffee.
Okay, good. Yeah, no,
I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's perfect. I love it. There was maybe like 10 minutes into the pod where I was like, oh shit, your girl is tired.
But do you think that, okay, so all this like social media, everyone can become like a micro celeb on TikTok. Like, so the new reality, just to go back to the like Celine party and this whole like indie Sleaze LA.
Yes.
What is that maybe also why, do you think it's a reaction to that, like the rock star is back somehow? Like we need like real icons. Everyone can be a micro celeb.
I don't know. I'm confused about the current state of pop culture, honestly. Like,
well, it's like so expanded. There are so many different ventricles.
Everything is popular right now to me. Like from my vantage point, at least on the internet, like indie sleaze is coming back, but also like a lot of other aesthetics are in that are like not necessarily coinciding.
Well, the cultural like hegemon is like crumbling,
right?
Which is to say, like the mainstream kind of thing is like being like spread out and stretched amongst like many different like platforms,
right?
You know, so it doesn't feel like there's one like kind of singular like hegemonic structure in the same way that there has been historically,
right?
I just think our relation to social media will change completely during the next years. And
how do you feel like it will?
I just feel that the way that people are using social media so much everywhere, like kids and I mean all this kind of thing. I think it will be a bit like smoking, you know, in the 50s when you look at pictures where people are smoking in the classroom and in the airplane and in the train. I think, you know, we were the first generation growing up with like a before and after social media. And I think now when we get more information about what it does to us and to our what it does to our minds and our idea of ourselves and in relation to depression and anxiety and stuff like that, I just think it will change. And of course it will still be there and it will be like super important. But I I don't know why I'm saying this. Maybe it's because I maybe think could there be something in also this reaction, like this going back to the idea of the rock star as an image of something that are maybe bigger than just like indie sleaze, but more like an idea of going not analog, but going back to something that are like not digital.
I read about there's this movie on I think Netflix. It's called like the social. Fuck, what's it called?
Social Dilemma. Or something.
Yes.
Oh
yeah,
God.
And that talks.
Stressed me the fuck out.
Yeah, that one's crazy, and like it talks so much about how it affects young like teenage girls. Like I mean, also everyone, but like it's been really detrimental to young teenage girls' health, and like, I mean, I'm sure like. I think it's like levels of depression and anxiety among young girls is like at an all-time high because of it, and it's really so scary. I think what's fucked up about it is there's no like dialogue or narrative around like teaching people to have a healthy relationship to their self-image like in school. Like I feel like with Facetune and all this shit, like there are people who of all ages too who are like affected by thinking that however they look needs to be altered significantly on a constant basis. And it's like because there's this strange like precedent being set by the Kardashians or whoever that's like not not possible for pretty much anyone. I mean, they don't even look like how they look online, which is crazy.
No, I follow like an Instagram account that like shows like celebrities like doctored photos and like red carpet
Celeb
photos
face or whatever. Yeah.
And then like photos of like them the same day but like on like an iPhone without good lighting, and you like see the texture of their skin, and you're like, oh, you're just like a normal, that's like that's just a normal body.
But the whole idea about the power of the image somehow, I think just completely escalated with social media. And like the image became even more powerful than it was before, and it was powerful before as well. So I think,
it's true.
You know, with like post the invention of like the television and pop culture, I just think I'm thinking a lot about it in my art practice, because it's always about creating these scenarios that are getting photographed, and then the echoes and the escalation of this image. I just think because in Denmark there've been a lot of discussion as well about young people being super depressive and super anxious and all these kind of things, and then they're like, oh, it's because, you know, there's too much pressure in the school system, and I'm like, yeah, maybe it's also because of Instagram. You know, people are not going there directly, and I will do that for sure. And it's not that I'm like critical on social media. It's more about, I am, but it's not, I don't think we should close it or something like that. It's not that what I'm saying. I just think it will be really cool to maybe have a critical approach to the image, you know. And if we learn people in school more about image production, it should be like being an image, your life as an image.
Sex ed, I think it should be this. I mean, there's obviously terrible sex ed, I mean, in my experience in America, but I feel like if that system and also a system like around that would be really helpful for literally everyone. I mean, no one has like a sound relationship to the internet. Like you can get pretty close to having a sound relationship, I think, but I don't think anyone's fully exempt from like the toxic behaviors that being chronically online create. I don't know. Yeah,
but also like images are a lot controlling also. I mean, like in relation to politics, you know, it's so important, like what you said about before with the Kardashians, and you know, I don't know, I just think that no matter where you are and what kind of political system, the image is so important in relation to what kind of power you can access. It's true. So in relation to also understanding democracy and politics, you need to have a critical approach to the images that you are surrounded with. And I think it will be really cool to have like more critical discussions about the images that are surrounding us.
I think that is incoming eventually for sure. I mean, like that is the only way for things to go, I think, with like the rise of social media and stuff. Like there has to be a response and like a more critical vantage point, I think, coming soon. I've seen some interesting takes coming up on TikTok, but there's obviously not like an organized like system of criticism right now, which I think will be good when it happens.
I mean, even the use of like filters, you know, where it's like you're like, oh, I want to see what I look like with no eyebrows, and you're like, I look so good with like bleached brows, but then you realize you look so good because like the filter is distorting your features. You know,
I know.
It's like giving you like bigger lips and like a pointier nose and like fuller cheeks and like.
Yeah. I know, it's disturbing.
And then you take off the filter and you're like, what the fuck? That's what people see?
Yeah.
That can be scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. But is there anything else that we want to explore as a group in our time here today? I think we've touched on some really beautiful topics.
Yeah, love, sex critical,
social
Murder.
Yeah.
Wait, how much longer are you here, Esben?
I'm leaving tomorrow.
Oh my god.
sad.
But I will come back in February.
Oh, cool.
Because I'm doing like, do you know the artist Sylvie Fleury?
Who is that?
She's a Swiss artist, really iconic. But I'm doing a project with her for Felix Art Fair at the Roosevelt Hotel.
Oh, cool.
So we're doing.
I want to come.
That's in February.
That's in February, yeah. So we're doing these, sculptures, 200 sculptures that will float around in the pool.
Oh my
Wow.
god.
It's called Medusa's Hair, and it's these like silver alien snakes that will float around. So you can
So
be
sick.
in the middle of it in the water.
Oh my god, I need to come. That's so fucking cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited about it. I mean, it's fun to come back also. There's something bringing me back to LA all the time.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm gonna move here. I don't know.
That'd
Oh
be
my god,
cool.
please.
That would be so fun.
Wow, I hope.
Bring
you
the
move here.
boyfriend.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The
But I'm
boyfriend
excited
is-
about how my
What does he do, your boyfriend?
he's a painter.
Ugh, love.
And he's the same height as
Stop,
Esben,
really?
and they share clothes.
Oh
Yeah, we share.
Wait, I want to see
How tall are you,
pictures.
Esben?
What?
How tall are you?
2 meters.
Oh,
What is
fuck.
that?
Literally no idea.
You seem like 6'4" or something to me. Can you look up 2 meters?
I feel like he's taller.
But everybody always thinks we're like brothers.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
even when
hot.
we're out like in the supermarket, they're like, "Oh, so you're twins?" And we're like, "No." And like, "Oh, but you're brothers, right?" And we're like, "No, we're boyfriends."
Oh, that's so cute.
But I don't think we look that much like each other. Do I have them here?
Oh my god, so cute. Oh my god, gorgeous. Wow, wait, you guys are so... This is hot.
Wait, let me see.
Oh
my God.
I have to put this in the video. I'm going to steal some of these screenshots for the video. You guys are really hot. This is crazy. What the fuck? Wait, look up
Yeah.
how tall 2 meters is, will you?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I will bring
think-
him in February.
Please bring
Oh my God,
him. I want to
fun.
meet him.
Wait,
That's so cute. I love people being in love. Everyone deserves to be in love.
For sure.
It's the best feeling.
wait, this is so embarrassing that we have to look up 2 meters.
No, this is totally normal.
6'7".
You're 6'7"?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Right?
Holy.
No, wait, 6'6".
Okay, yeah.
Six-
Yeah,
six
you're 6'6".
point seven.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, you're tall.
Yeah.
You're tall as fuck.
Yeah.
You're a lot taller than me.
It was so fun, like, playing with you in the performance because you're just like giant. You could just like drag me around. I felt like a little baby or something. It was literally so fun.
Feeling tiny is really fun.
Oh, so fun.
Like-
I had like Chili, one of the other performers, on my shoulders.
Uh-huh.
And then I was running, and then she was whispering in my ear, like, "Throw me into the middle of the flower." And then I was like, just doing it. And it was just so, because she's much smaller than me also. And it's not that I'm strong or anything. But
Right.
it's more like, it was just like, because I'm so much bigger, it was just like, I
Right.
could literally throw her in.
I
a
love
flower.
that. It's amazing the difference in size we have as humans. We get to experience so much with each other. I don't
Yeah.
know. I've been thinking about this because
because you're tiny.
I'm tiny and Frank is big, and I'm like, I want to make you feel tiny, but I never can. But I'm like, I wish you could feel how small and safe I feel right now.
Do you ever do Big Spoon?
Yeah, I don't like it. I'm not like big enough to really cover the land.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah, you're just like mid back.
I'm, like,
head and
kinda
mid back. Yeah.
like a little weird koala on a piece of bamboo. More, but it's more like koala bamboo.
I like Big Spoon. I like kind of like gender role reversal.
I used to have.
I
To,
kind of like feeling like daddy sometimes.
I think I have big spoon trauma, to be honest,
Oh
Why?
God.
because I've dated like really tall, lanky men who have made me big spoon them a lot.
Why?
Oh.
Was it like a fetish thing? Or?
No, it was just like I was kind of like the dynamic was complicated.
Mm.
Yeah,
And I
probably
just- I felt
maternal.
like I
You
had
dealt
to,
with
like-
unhealed men.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. I see,
exactly.
I see.
And I was big spooning a lot, so now like I am really anti I've
Yeah, you're in your divine feminine,
I'm
so to
in-
speak.
Yeah, I'm in my divine small spoon era, little spoon era. But yeah, I love that for you. I like gender reversal role stuff though, but the spoon stuff I can't with that. I need to be little.
Yeah, you are. And so you will be.
And so yeah.
Wow, this has been so fun.
I
I'm so
know.
glad you came, Esben.
Thank you, Esben.
I'm
Yeah.
so excited also to come back again and see you again.
Yeah.
I'm so excited what will happen with my art now, because now I feel more comfortable in America. You know,
Yeah,
I think
you're
so much of
growing.
My art practice is about like being scared of America, scared and fascinated at the same time.
Yeah.
But maybe my art will like completely
I'm
change.
also scared and fascinated with America.
Okay, maybe
Yeah.
that's just how it is.
Yeah.
We like scared and fascinated together.
Yeah, we're out
Okay.
here. Yeah.
That's a good place to be.
No,
Yeah.
fully.
It's a sublime, right?
Yeah.
It's like ecstasy and terror.
Yeah. That's the ideal spot.
Yeah.
The edge of it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you will have come visit me in Copenhagen.
Oh yeah, let's go to
We'll do a round
Copenhagen.
2, the Copenhagen version.
Oh my god, I'm so down.
HAGS do Copenhagen.
That's lit. I mean, we need to find a
Coming
reason
up.
to go. If you want to bring us to Copenhagen.
Yeah, if you want to bring us to Copenhagen, listen, hook me up with some galleries.
I will, if you want to commission me to play shows or DJ.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
let's go. This is like a plan.
Okay.
Let's go for summer 2023.
Oh yeah, summer 2023.
Okay.
HAGS
We
to
can manifest
Copenhagen.
like also a specific
Yeah,
time.
summer 23.
23.
Yeah.
Going to Copenhagen. Okay. Okay, we did it. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you for
This
having
was
me.
lit.
Yeah.
Cheers.
This is lit. Cheers.
Happy HAGS, everyone.
Happy HAGS.
More soon.
Have a very merry HAGS.
There's merch incoming very soon.
Oh yeah.
More and if
More
you
will be revealed.
but there's some on Patreon
Yeah.
if you're a subscriber at the expensive tier.
Yeah.
Anyway.
it's really cute.
It's cute. Okay. Bye
Okay,
bitches.
Bye.
Bye
Okay,
bitches.
Bye.
Bye
Okay,
bitches.
Bye.
Bye
Okay,
bitches.